Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Only Trams. You're joining me today for episode number 13 in the series, and I wanted to start off by just checking on the finances of the route that we put in last time. If you remember, we put in this cross-country route that's bringing plastics from right down in the bottom corner by Canterbury, all the way up to the goods factory near Nottingham, and then delivering the goods to Slough, picking tools up and taking them back to the Canterbury section down the bottom end. Now, as you can see in the finances here, we have started to make a profit on this one individual tram, but it doesn't look great overall. But if we come into the line profitability, you can see the line here. It's currently making 1.6 million, which is almost the same as the Canterbury fuel loop that's been our mainstay for money making in the past. And now you will see that there's a lot of them at around this 1.6 to 1.8 million mark. And I'm not sure whether that's something that's coming to fruition, where that's a maximum for trams, because all of these lines seem to be capping out at around this amount. So it'll be interesting to see moving forward what happens with that. Now, what I want to do is start off this episode, as always, by looking at some of the comments from the previous episodes. I want to start off with one from Jarl, which is, well, he's basically said that our main cargo hub now needs an upgrade because we're losing a lot of product. So I want to get over to here and ensure that we've got that covered. As you can see, he's 100% correct here. Cargo items are being lost on the fuel line, the cargo fuel, the crude oil, fuel, and the construction materials too. So what we need to do is hop into the configuration menu here and get some buildings added on. Now, the only problem is, I believe it's only these vanilla buildings that actually add not cargo, what's the word I'm looking for? Capacity to them. So if we add the one here, this one will add 75. And that does, for now, stem it. But then what I do need to do is delete the assets that I put in front. I probably should have done this first. If I can delete this brick wall that's overlapping just so it doesn't look a mess. There we go. And that should hopefully iron out that issue, at least for now. But we have just got another load of bricks coming in, so I want to see these get dropped off and just check whether these bricks now kick that into overdrive and we're losing them again. Hopefully not. If he's going to unload here, doesn't look like he is actually. Canterbury fuel loop. I'm hoping he isn't going to disappear off again with those bricks still on board, because that definitely shouldn't be happening. Oh, fast forward here. Why is he sitting there for so long? Let's have a look at this line. So Canterbury East the first time here, he should be unloading fuel, so he shouldn't have any bricks on him. And then the second time he comes to Canterbury East, he should be unloading bricks and loading crude oil. But for some reason, this guy is not unloading his bricks. Send him on his way and just check the next one coming in with some bricks on. Where are we? Here. Because that's really concerning if that's the case. I don't understand why he's just come in full of bricks and then not drop them off. That seems really unusual to me. So we'll pin this guy at the top here. And then when he turns in here, let's just see, he should drop off those bricks. But again, he hasn't, so why is he not dropping off his bricks? I'm wondering whether this is something left over from the last time I was here. On the last episode when we adjusted the bricks line up here. I'm wondering whether it's knocked trams out of sync, but they should not be leaving here with bricks. You can see the line that I've got set up here does not tell them to do that at all. At both visits to Canterbury, the first time they should be loading crude and unloading fuel, and the second time they should be loading crude and unloading bricks. So for some reason they're going to somewhere else. Anywhere else got anything to do with bricks? It doesn't look like it has. Louth East here, it just unloads, and at Louth Exchange it loads up on bricks, and then it comes to Canterbury East and it unloads those bricks. So I'm hoping that those trams, this guy's come in here, he's picked up. I'm hoping, we'll check again at the end, but I'm hoping they've picked up and then the route's been messed up and they've come back here thinking it's the first time they've come back. And because they're set to only unload crude oil that time, they won't unload the bricks. I'm hoping that's what's happening here. We'll turn that off fast mode and we'll just double check. Or actually we'll speed it up just because another one's coming now. As soon as I see one tram full of construction materials dropping off, then I'm happy. I think that's what's happened, and the other two think they're arriving for the first time dropping crude, but they're not. So let's just check if this guy now comes in. Yes, see, he's dropped off, so I'm happy that's sorted itself out. And hopefully that's all that's happened. But again, you can see here already y'all's comment coming into fruition again. We do need more buildings. So let's have a look at where we can stick another one of these large buildings. If we stick on the opposite side, we need to get rid of some wall again, so I'll do that first this time. We'll knock it down to just single speed. I don't want the game to be running away with us too much. So if we stick that one on there and just check it isn't overlapping any of the assets, and we're now covered for all of these goods coming in. So thanks a lot for that comment, y'all. It looks like that's going to help us a lot, and it looks like we will need to add some more vehicles to these, because that is exactly what the problem is. We've just not got enough vehicles shifting it all around. So we've got crude oil down on here now that just needs taking up. So I'll tell you what we'll do actually. Whilst we're in here, we'll add another couple of vehicles to that line, because that seems to be the main culprit. We've got food at the minute. Construction materials is being dealt with. Food at 51 is only one tram coming in. That's not an issue. And then I want to nip on to the next comment. Now this one's from Tony, and this is what I want to spend the main part of the episode on actually. So I might leave Tony's comment for after. We've got, I'm just having a look through these comments here and having a look. Mr. Stabby said to us that he'd found a mod on the workshop for the loops and curves. We do already have that one actually in place. It's just one that I actually haven't used yet. Not sure where that is actually. I think it's just in the road placement tool. It is. It's this one here. You can select electric track you can select, and as you can see, if you drag this out, it's just almost a thicker road. It's better off to see in the menu here. You can just drag sort of a turning circle out, and you can put bus stops on the side. It's a nice one to have in the middle of the town at some point. I'm sure we'll get around to using that. So thanks for that. Robbly Wobbly as always with it, coming in with some key advice just around naming conventions and possibly using CT for cargo trams. But we've just got to remember that sort of on this series, because we're only using trams, I think the T for tram works, and we'll keep on with that one for the minute unless it gets confusing. And then I just wanted to take the time to thank you all for your support. You know, I had a comment from Jan saying that, you know, there's no need to apologise for me being absolutely terrible with terrain tools. And I like the fact that you guys fully understand that I'm still learning the game and you don't expect me to be, you know, a complete expert with it. So thanks for your understanding with that, and I appreciate you helping me learn along the way as well. Now, that main thing for this episode that I wanted to get into from Tony was he mentioned that on the store there is this. It's a tram and bus museum. Now, he come up with the idea of putting this on this heritage line. For those of you that aren't aware, we discussed putting this main express line as a bit of a heritage line in future, and trying to keep one of every tram that we've used on the network just running around, so in years to come we can come and sort of see every tram that we've had. But this mod looks absolutely amazing, but it does have this road connection. As you can see here, it'll snap to a road, and I've been wondering of where to put it. I had a quick look and it doesn't really fit in with any of the zones at the bottom end. I mean, it could fit here, tell a lie, it could fit down here in Newark, and we could have it just coming off the main run here to connect to the road here, and then just a line onto the loop at the end there. But what I think I want to do is have it as a bit of a focal point. And I want to stick it in Slough here, because if we put it at the other end over near Louth, the terrain here is just really unforgiving. It's going to make a real mess of the landscape over here. And I thought to myself, with how big this building in it is and how impressive it looks, I'd love to have it as a sort of central focal point. Now, I don't want to connect the road to the track there, but what I do want to do is connect the road coming out from the town. So, ideally, in an ideal world, you know, thinking of it from a realism sort of point of view, people could actually come and look at these trams then, which is the idea. I want to go for a medium street here to connect it up. And I want to go sort of rounded. I don't like the way that that's connecting, so we'll pull that out. It's not as... There we go, that's much smoother. Now, the only issue I have seen with this is the actual tram track that comes through. If I get to the road here, we want to connect ours in. one-way street, and we want tram track, and we want it to be electric. You'll see here, it comes out. Oh, it's going to be easier for me to show you by connecting it in and seeing what happens with the tram. It is, as you can see the arrows here, one way. Now I'll bring this out here so trams could pull off here if they ever needed to. Just make sure it hasn't affected the route there, it hasn't. If we were to go and put, we've currently got the balloon trams on here, haven't we? So if I was to grab another one of those and add it to this line, and this is the Newark Louth Express, you'll see what happens here. As the tram will come out at the depot, swing around, and it'll always turn to the left, but it can only go one way. Ideally, what I would like is for this to be two-way, and for it to, the main line here, to pass through it. But we can't do that, unfortunately, because these are all one-way track. You can see here coming off, it's picked up by a one-way track here, and they all go into the same sort of side of the road. So unfortunately, we can't do that, because I think this it'd be cool to have this as a tram stop. I mean, we could do it for the way up, but because our trams are running on the right, we'd be crossing over every time, and I don't like that idea. I could have turned it around and had it the other way, but then road traffic would be crossing over. But look at this, guys. How cool does this look? The Tram and Bus Museum, and I didn't show you, but when you go to place this building down, you'll see here you can choose the language. And I think that's a really good touch. You can turn the street lights on and off, but you can also choose the language of the signs. You can see here, Luke, the Model Railway Shop, Classic Car Club. These all change if you change the language and the option there. And I think that's a really nice touch that I've not seen on any other mod so far. And you may have just noticed there, guys, in the menu, some of these other mods that are coming into play now. You can see we've got a sort of a more modern intercity station here, or sort of central station hub, and these are the ones that I really want to get into use. Actually, I want to use this one that much. I'm actually going to put one down at the other end at Newark here. So I'm going to fast forward and let this tram get out of here, and then we're going to pause it and we're going to redo this passenger station at Newark, because these are something that I have been waiting for, and I really like the look of. We'll make sure he gets all the way up, because I'm not sure if we're going to have to delete some of the road here as well. We definitely want that stop going. But as you can see here, this is almost like a multi-storey, and I think actually, yeah, we will delete that road back. But you can see that we've got electric selected down at the bottom here, which was one of the issues we were having before. Now, I'm not sure where this connects to in terms of, so we've got to connect into the front. So what we may have to do again is smoothen some of this terrain down. Spread that out. Strength has gone wild there. Make that look a little bit better. And if I can get this hub in somewhere down here, we bring that street through with the electric track first, as neatly as we can. And if we bring that up so it is connecting to the station like that, then as long as we connect this into the road, it should also connect, which it does nicely. And I just want to make sure, probably from a bird's eye view actually, that that's pretty square on to the road. There we go. Now guys, if we select this, we've got the terminal. It is picking up, I believe, this route. If I can select that route, for some reason it isn't liking me selecting that route at the moment. It's not the Canterbury. It's the cross country, there we go. So if we manage the line now, it's got this as number 2. But it's saying it can't get to number 2. Is that because of the road I've placed in here? It's not. We've got catenary all the way down, but the station itself hasn't got catenary for some reason. Because it's only the terminals downstairs. Gotcha. So if we turn them, and you can see here, so 1 and 2 are upstairs, 3, 4, 5 are downstairs. So if we change here to terminal 3, that will hopefully kick that line in. It will, and it'll now send these round. And hopefully it sends this guy down the road. It hasn't, but we'll switch him around because he never got to stop here the first time. I don't think he did, if I remember right. Bring this fella down. I'm not sure how this is going to interact with how tall this tram is. As you guys know, we've had issues before with it and you can see how it clips through the wires. But when you're using buses on this mod, it's really cool. You can have buses going up and trams underneath and all sorts. You can see now it does clip through the roof. If you clip, it isn't actually clipping through the roof above, but you can see it there. But this is another thing that I wanted to address in this episode, guys. I've realised that we've got these balloon trams, as awesome as they are. We've not only got them on this route, but we also have them on this express line. So we need to swap one of the lines out, and it's going to be this line anyway. What I want to do is have a look at what we can swap these for without losing too much of the capacity and the speed that we've got. So if we have a look at the minute, if we were to go to manage vehicles and change all of these, at the moment we've got 43 miles per hour and a capacity of 21. And if you'll notice, I've got passengers selected here. There's not many of these trams that go anywhere near this 43 miles an hour. And we have been unlocking some new ones, but there was one that caught my eye that we unlocked, I believe, towards the end of the last episode. This one came in. See, we've got a nice one here from Rome, and we've just got a new one actually, a Rathburg. Let's see what 43 miles per hour that one's coming in at. So if I reopen that menu, it should show me that one as well. Let's have a look at this one. So this one's from Rathburger P1. So it's from Munich, it looks like, this one. So that one's got a capacity of 28, whereas at the minute, I forget what we've got there, sorry, 21. Okay, so we're slightly up in the capacity. We've got speed of 43, which is the same. Now that's interesting. It can actually be upgraded to 57 miles per hour. I'm not sure whether... 57 capacity, not miles per hour. 43 miles per hour. The one that I was thinking of, guys, was this. It's a Tatra T3 SU. And I think it is what I'm going to go for at the minute. 40 miles per hour is plenty. We can upgrade to 46 passengers if we want to. I think 23 will be fine at the minute. As you can see here, we're not quite filling this 21 capacity. So I think we'll go with that. We haven't got many Soviet Union trains. And any Soviet Union trams knocking about. So I think we'll go for that one in this line. It's going to cost us 4.8 million. Money, clearly, at the moment, not an issue. So let's have a look at this tram, actually. It is really cool, this. I did do a little bit of a wiki check on this one. And it let me know that they came about in 1963, these. So 1964 we're at the moment, so only 1 year ago. And it was the most produced tram ever. It's crazy, really. It says all together, I think it said, over 11,000. I think it was 11,300 something of these trams were made. The Tatra T3s, and they're made by Czechia and the Czech Republic, or what is now the Czech Republic, in Prague. And I believe, you guys will be able to correct me if I'm wrong here, but the T3 is the model of the tram. This one is the T3 SU. And all that means, I believe, is that it was made for the Soviet Union. I think that's what the SU at the end means. And they were used all over the Eastern Europe, really, from Russia, Poland, I believe, Czech Republic. A lot of the Eastern Bloc countries all use these. So it's cool to see one that was so mass-produced and would have been in so many cities around the world. But it's really cool, and I like how the sort of... What's the name for those wheels? The dolly system, I would call it, but the wheels underneath are turning with it. I know there is an actual name for that part of the tram there that turns with the wheels on. I don't think it's dolly, I'm thinking more of a sort of a truck and trailer type deal. The driver doesn't look too impressed, does he? He looks very sort of laid back and chilled out. It looks like that's an aircon system at the end there, a really good pantograph on top. That was another interesting thing about this one, actually, guys, as well. In the SU models made for the Soviet Union, they got rid of, there's usually a middle door here to enable better access onto the tram. As you can see here, we've got front and back doors on this side of the road. But they did have a middle door as well, but the Soviet Union asked for that to be removed and for more seating to be put in. But later on then they did start having the middle door back, apparently. So yeah, there you go, guys. That's a few cool upgrades in this one. We haven't sort of set up any new routes in this one, it's just a general sort of run around the map and have a look at what we need to upgrade. But the museum is a massive upgrade, and by adding these first Soviet era trams to the line, I think we're really moving forward now. And as you've seen, some of the trams that we're getting now and some of the upgrades that are coming, we're really starting to get into that more modern era. So in the next episode, I hope we can sort of press on, and I'm going to skip time forward again a little bit and start to get towards the modern era. And I think we're going to be looking again at probably a little bit more cargo if needs be. I'm not 100% sure yet. But now we have all of the cities linked together, it's a case of streamlining now and finding better ways of making it all work. Let me know what you guys think below, whether you think it's better to have sort of one long line stopping at every city along the way or just single point-to-point systems. I'm starting to think that if we've got a long line and people are getting on from one end that want to get off to the other, we're failing to pick up the people in between. So I'm leaning towards having some bigger terminals, maybe like this one and the others that we've seen down here. If we have point-to-point to each town, it'll enable us to have more stations like this and ultimately more routes with different kinds of trams running on it. That's what I'm sort of leaning towards at the minute, but do let me know, guys, because I always value your feedback, as you know. As always, I want to take this opportunity to give you a massive thanks for all of your comments in the previous episode, all of the support that you give me on this series and on the Only Pack series. It doesn't go unnoticed. I appreciate all of you. We are marching towards that 1,000 subscriber mark, so if you've got some value out of this and you're not a subscriber so far, please do hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button as always for me, guys. Drop any tips, tricks, suggestions, or any feedback for me down in the comments. As you know, I answer every comment and always try and get back to you guys as quickly as I can. But that is the end of this one, guys, and I will catch you in the next episode.